Have you ever seen these shape morphing animations and wondered, how is this even made? Well, in this video, I'll show you how to create smooth Apple style shape morphing in After Effects. And don't worry, I'll break it down in the simplest way possible so you can actually understand. No plugins required, just clean motion. Let's do it. In this video, I'm gonna be creating this Apple Music UI morphing animation, so let's get started. So first things first, I gotta show you how to actually morph the shapes. Which to morph shapes, we have to use a shape layer. Some people use solid layers and try to morph stuff like that, and it's just not possible like that. Or maybe it is, but you're just overcomplicating things. So first, we go to Layer, New, and then we go to shape layer. Or if you have my plugin Prime Tools, then you can just make a shape layer by clicking this button. Okay, once you have your shape layer, you go up here, and as you can see, we have some options here. You have the rectangle tool, rounded rectangle tool, ellipse tool, polygon tool, and the star tool. Now for shape morphing, you only want to use the rectangle tool. I personally use the rounded rectangle tool just because it's rounded and it kind of fits the Apple aesthetic, as Apple always has rounded corners. And then from here, you can go to the contents, rectangle 1, and then you have access to your size, position, and the roundness of your shape or whatever. Now what some people do whenever they try to do shape morphing is that they just go to scale and they turn this off. And if we create a keyframe and make it like this, that's what they do. Now I don't know if you could tell, but it's kind of like ruining the shape. At least the corners are not like rounded like they should be. So instead of doing that, you should go into your contents, rectangle path 1, and right here where we were just at, you move this size. Don't move the other size of the layer or whatever. Use the actual rectangle path to do your morphing. If you scale this up, obviously it scales everything at once. So it has this little locking mechanism thing, which if you disable this by clicking on it, you can actually change how it looks. And as you can see, the corners are not being messed up by this. This is actually how you do the proper shape morphing. Like, this is actually it. It's so simple, yet some people overcomplicate these things. And so from here, you just have to keyframe whatever you want. So let's say we go back to this square. This is going to be our first keyframe. And then we go over here. And let's say we want to make it, I guess, skinny like this for some reason. And you just have it wherever you want. And now if you play it, it'll basically morph into that shape. And obviously with the right graph, it would look really smooth. I know it's crazy, but it is literally that simple. Now, what if you want to make a circle? Because there's many UIs where you would want a circle. And it's as simple as just bringing the roundness all the way up, which you will get a circle. And if you play it, as you can see, it still morphs into that. So let's say you wanted to morph from a circle to a square, you would also keyframe the roundness. So we go over here, let's delete this keyframe, and let's just bring down the roundness to 0. And then let's go ahead and add a graph to this. And as you can see, it now morphs from a circle to a square. Which typically, if you're making a square like this, you don't want it to be fully squarish. You still want it to be a little bit rounded like this. So it would look like this. And for shape morphing, what makes it look really cool is that sometimes it shifts colors as well. So it looks like the icons are just shifting, when in reality, it's just this shape layer moving. So let's say we go from this square, we keyframe size and roundness, and then we want to make like a taskbar, or I don't even know what the name of this is. But we would have something like this that shape morphs into this, right? Or maybe we do it even faster so it looks a little bit more like seamless. Obviously we would have like PNG icons and text and all that. That's what sells, I guess, the UI. And like I said, another thing that also sells it is changing the color, which you can do it exactly in here. So you go to rectangle, you go to fill, and right here you have a color, which you can also keyframe. So let's put this keyframe at the beginning, and then let's say over here, maybe we're doing a UI for like, I don't know, let's just change the color to like gray, or let's change it to red so it can contrast the background. Press OK, and then let's use the same graph. Now when we play it, it shifts color as well, so it's almost like it's changing icon, if that makes sense. And obviously what sells it even more is having, you know, pictures, icons, text, and not only that, but having like a little bounce animation around this right here once it's like starting to shape into the next shape UI. And if we kind of dissect one of my edits where I do this shape morphing, we have basically this like rectangle or whatever, but it starts to shape lower, you know what I mean? And it changes colors at the same time. And then while that's happening, the icons and the text are just a keyframe with opacity. And right here we have another example. This is happening, and then as you can see, the color is shifting and the shape is also changing. And now it changes to this button or whatever, which then, you know, they click on it and then it changes to this other like Discord UI type of thing, which all this thing is just one shape layer. This is one shape layer. This is the same shape layer, and this is the same shape layer. is just shifting colors and there's different icons on it, if that makes sense.
Oh, I ain't gonna lie, I'm ready with this.
So obviously I wanted to work on a UI for this video, but I was thinking of what I should do. So I was just clicking around my phone. And so we're going to be making this UI right here. And I don't know if you can see, this is a screen recording from my phone, by the way. Once you click on it, it becomes bigger. You know what I mean? So we're just going to be doing this animation right here. So we're basically going to be building this scene just a little bit different. So let's get started. I'm going to put this on a different composition just so I can kind of go back and forth and look at it. Okay, so the first thing we got to do is obviously do the UI. So we're going to make a shape layer. We're going to get the rounded rectangle tool and let's make a square. If you want to make a perfect square, you want to press shift while you're dragging. And also if you want it to be centered, you want to press control at the same time. And as you can see, now it's centered and it's a perfect square. So let's make it around this size. Let's center the anchor point and center the square. And now we look back at this because reference is one of the most important things. So you'll see that the roundness is way more pronounced, I guess you would say. So let's go ahead and increase the roundness. I'd say to around right here, probably a little bit less. If you want to be perfect, technically you can import this and layer it on top of here so you can actually get it right. It's not really that important. Quick pause. I know you're enjoying this fire tutorial, but let me tell you about Luma AI because they're the sponsors of today's video and they look kind of tough. This is Luma AI's dream machine and they just dropped something called Ray 3 Modify, which honestly fixes the biggest issue with AI video. With Ray 3 Modify, I can re-envision any scene however I want. And the crazy part is that the performance stays the same, but you can completely change the look of any shot, which is kind of crazy. With Modify, I'm not guessing anymore. I'm actually directing. This is huge for things like music videos, short films, or VFX passes, especially if you want big production value without a massive budget. You guys already know that AI is getting bigger and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. So it's either you learn how to use it as a tool or you get left behind. If you want to try out Dream Machine for yourself, link is in the description or you can scan this QR code. But anyways, back to the video. And instead of making it, I guess, this glass type of thing, I'm going to go back to the simple white background just because I feel like that's a little bit more cleaner in my opinion. I like this glass effect, but I think it's a little bit too much and it wouldn't make sense if like this is the screen, you know what I mean? Or maybe it would, but it's all up to you. So we're gonna make a solid layer. We're gonna put it at the bottom and let's make this white, maybe a little bit grayish. And now we basically want to get the profile picture and all these icons. The text, obviously we do it in After Effects. This little play button, these little icons. And let me put you on game. If you want to get free PNG icons or super high quality, I recommend going to flat icon. And in here, you can basically search for whatever icon you want. So if we're looking for this little play button thing, we literally just type play button, search, and as you can see, we get a whole bunch of super high resolution play buttons, which the first one looks like it's perfect. Then right here, you have the resolutions of it. Obviously, you would choose the biggest resolution and then just download it. I'm not sponsored by them. I think this is just a great website, so I'm putting you guys on. And just for that, I think you guys should go down below and give this video a thumbs up. I'm pretty sure if you're still watching, you're enjoying this video, so give this video a thumbs up. I mean, it's literally free. And while you're at it, if you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe. I post a lot of cool After Effects tutorials. Anyways, back to the video. Obviously here, now I have to get the profile picture, the text, the icons, and put them all right here. Make sure to get the highest resolution icons as possible, just because if you zoom in, you don't want any pixelation. And for stuff like this, where it has an icon, but it also has like a little button or whatever, we can actually just make a shape layer. And in this case, we can actually, I guess, use the ellipse tool and make a circle into the anchor point. And let's have this around right here, maybe a little bit bigger. You know what? Let's go ahead and just duplicate this, freeze frame it, copy, paste, bring the opacity down, and then let's basically align it kind of like this. And yeah, this circle was supposed to be a little bit bigger. There it goes. And so now I'm just gonna get the album cover, put in this text, add this icon and these as well. So I'll be right back.
What can we do? Yeah. I'm on that backstreet, baby. Tearing it up. Never need nothing too crazy, cause I made enough.
And there it goes. This is the look that I want to go with. Now that I think about it, it kind of looks like an Apple Watch like thing, especially with the dark mode, which this isn't even like an Apple thing, but it low-key should. This looks really good actually. But basically here goes the first UI out of 2. And now that I think about it, this technically was supposed to be smaller. So let's make a null, attach everything but the background to it, and then let's just make it smaller, maybe a little bit bigger. Okay, now from here we basically want to shape morph it. So we get this main shape right here, and we press U twice. So we get this. Turn this off, make a keyframe for size and roundness. Press U, so we get the keyframes right here. And now we go to somewhere where we wanted to shape it. So around right here. Maybe let's actually bring this over here. And then it should get bigger and wider. A little bit thinner. If we need to adjust it later, we can. Let's make the corners less rounded, maybe a little bit like this. And now we just basically add a graph to it. And there you go. And now from here, we basically adjust the rest. And now that I'm looking at it, let's make it bigger actually, like this and like this, like this. And then we get this. Okay, and then now we basically have a new canvas. And so now we want to basically shape everything around. But looking at the reference, we see that the album cover gets bigger, but stays in place. So we're going to do that. Also the text, but it kind of changes a little bit. Let's get smaller because there's a feature on it. And then the play button and stuff, it stays in place. But now that I think about it, it should technically be playing. So it should not be a play button. It should be like the pause button. You know what I mean? Maybe we'll change that later. Actually, no, let's change that right now. So if we put pause on here, let's go with this one. Download. All right, now we make it smaller. Let's go ahead and make it white. And let's place it right here. Let's remove this little, there it goes. That looks kind of weird. Make it smaller. Why does that look weird? I think these need to be a little bit closer to each other. There it goes, that looks better. All right, so now since it's morphing like this, now we want to change stuff around. We want these basically to just get bigger. And at this point, let's just scale them all at the same time, which to do that, we want to use a null. But as you can see, these are all attached to that null that we made to scale everything down. So we're going to have to do a little bit of math here. Okay, let me change these. All right, and basically all of these pink ones, and I guess now this thing. So this should go down here. Let's make this pink. Lavender. No, not lavender. Fuchsia. There you go. And now we make a null. And then let's name this null play thing. I don't know. Now let's get all of these and basically attach them to that. And then we attach this to the main null. So now, yeah, it should be there. Okay. And now with this, we can scale this up, as you can see. So we're going to make a scale and position keyframe. And then I'm going to look at the previous keyframes that we did just so we can stay at the same speed. Make this bigger and it should go lower around right here. A little bit above actually, not that big because we need this volume thing and this airplay. So maybe we'll move this around, but this is basically where it should be at. We highlight them at the same graph and now we get something like this, you see? And now we basically do that with everything else. So now with this, technically this is supposed to be getting bigger now. So scale, position, and how big should it be? So it basically takes the whole top half. So we scale this up and something like this. And let's add this graph. And there it goes. And now we need to bring the names lower basically. Also the little airplay thing kind of just like fades away, but it does kind of move down a little bit. So since all of these are individually made, we want to basically attach everything to either each other or into a null, which I'm going to basically use a null. Null, I'm going to call this, what is it called? Airplay button. And now let's get everything that goes on there, including this. Let's attach it to this, and then we attach this to the main null here. Let's actually rename this to main null. And now it also has this gray button, which is down here. Not sure why. Let's put it up here, and let's also make it orange. And let's attach this to the airplay button. And now using this null, as you can see, it moves the whole thing. So let's look at these keyframes that we did before. So it's starting here, position, and then it should kind of like position. Well, technically right here it should position up because this whole thing is just scaling. This is, it's on the top right, that's why it's going down. So technically it should go like up. So let's bring it up over here, and let's also increase the scale a bit, just like this. And let's add the graph. There it goes. And basically it's just gonna fade away. So we're gonna grab all these, press T for opacity, go to the end, bring it to 0, grab all these keyframes, and add the graph. There it goes. And technically we want the album cover to be on top because as you can see, it's kind of like behind it. So let me actually just search for that. Let me click on it. Let's rename this album cover and then just put it all the way at the top right here so it gets on top of it. And now we have something like this. This album cover is a little bit too rounded. I had previously added a shape layer, and then I went to blending mode and did stencil alpha so I can use the shape layer to just move the roundness. So basically we want to make it less rounded now. So let's look at where the first keyframe is at over here. Let's put our timeline there, and then let's go to that comp, and now we are at the exact same moment or timestamp. We go to roundness, keyframe it. Now we go back, go to the end of it, go back, And now let's make this like this. And then let's do the same graph. And let's turn on motion blur. So if we play it, there it goes, it gets bigger. And then this is where we can see that this is a little bit too wide. So technically we go over here and just make it a little bit skinnier where it matches, something like that. Let's highlight this, add a graph again, because every time you adjust the keyframes, it does move the graph slightly. And let me actually make this less rounded. All right, let's see how it's looking. There it goes. Now we basically just need to add the text going up, which you kind of get the point of it. It's pretty simple. It's just, I guess, like very time consuming. Okay, so now we're just gonna basically bring up the text and then also add like this timeline or play thing, whatever. These numbers, this star, this volume thing, these icons, and this, which I basically kind of showed you how to make it. This will basically be a shape layer. Even this thing right here would be a shape layer. This would be a shape layer. This technically could be the shape layer, but I'm just gonna find an icon. And these are just icons that you can go on that website that I told you about. These are text layers, and yeah, pretty simple.
Wish I can buy time back.
I wish that I could sing. Let's call, but I'm at least like 2 in. Been waiting since you flew in. Been thinking and pursuing. I see life through a new lens. It's shaking, that shit moving. Been thinking you should move in. It's made and have a few kids. Why the fuck not?
And there you have it. I actually ended up adding the lyric part just so I can post it on Instagram. And this edit ended up going pretty crazy at 1 million views and 100,000 likes. If you want to learn how to make more clean Apple style UIs, give this video a thumbs up. Let's get to 7,000 likes and I'll drop another tutorial for y'all. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any new uploads. Also, if you want to be one of my students and learn more about editing, DM me on Instagram. Shout out Luma AI for sponsoring this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Deuces.